There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go, Show Recaps Predictions Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go.
What is going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and we are live for your NXT Revenge, NXT Revenge Week 2 NXT Recap Show. So, sorry I was just a bit late. I was watching somebody hit a home run. This guy's absolutely phenomenal. But hopefully you guys enjoyed your Tuesday. NXT is still cooking. Start to finish, really good show. Overall, obviously we saw some write-offs because Raw obviously announced Joe Henry was going to be a part of the Raw brand starting this Monday, and then this was 100% Saruka's last match on the NXT roster, but it cooked for sure. So give it a couple of minutes for everybody to come in. If anybody's going to come in, I will put out a tweet shortly. Just 1 second, see if I can get some people in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tweet out there online. Alright, let me get the tweet out. This week's gonna be crazy for Scoops. There's been so much crap that's happened as far as news and stuff like that. It's been a crazy week of wrestling for sure. And I saw Cody Rhodes that you put Golden Boy on your profile, so cute. Gotta be listening, Cody. Are you listening? Either way, it's funny. I literally, like, when I saw his outfit at WrestleMania, I was like, yeah, that's definitely got to be the Golden Boy. He teased it in a lot of interviews and stuff like that. So, but making the post let everybody know that I am live. Whoops, sorry, guys. Try to get some people in here. I do apologize last night. I have some technical difficulties on the streaming options. Wasn't able to stream to Talk It Up podcast last night. It was not letting me stream to anything except for my YouTube and my X. So I ended up having to switch it over to Facebook like right last minute, which I hate streaming to Facebook. So the Raw after WrestleMania recap obviously is available on my YouTube if you guys want to go check it out, and also available on my X page. But tonight I got a picture. I don't know. Messaged Miami and told him that I think that it needed to be like, it wasn't linked or something. I don't know. StreamYard every month seems to mess up with that. So I don't know, they need to do better for sure. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started. We are live April 21st for NXT Revenge Week 2. Go ahead and get started since I'm starting late. Like I said, hope you guys enjoyed Raw last night and obviously NXT Revenge. I didn't see any signs of Fatal Influence. I know I've been seeing a bunch of stuff online, and maybe we're going to see the whole faction on SmackDown. I don't think so. I mean, it could. I mean, you never know with WWE, but I think it's just a JC call up. But we'll see. Anything's possible. I mean, if they're going to call the whole group up, that would definitely hype the roster up for sure. But I don't know. We'll see. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is my 9th day in a row of streaming, so after tonight, I am off tomorrow. But finishing off strong this week, obviously. If you guys are big LFG fans, tune in Sunday for me here on the EVP show, as I will be hosting 2 shows. It'll be my first doubleheader show of since back when me and Miami was doing the NFL shows. When we were doing NFL and I did NXT. I'm gonna be doing Sunday Night Scoop Sunday since I skipped it WrestleMania Sunday. I expect it to be a long show, but I will tell you guys now, I'm cutting it off at like 2.5 to no more than 2 hours and 40 minutes. Because I have to come back and stream live. Later on Sunday night will be episode 1 of LFG season 3 recap. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Set that reminder and notification bell. So let's go ahead and get started and get to it. Tonight's WWE NXT Revenge Week 2 from the Capitol Wrestling Center Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Going to see men's WWE NXT North American Champion Miles Bourne, Baby Randy is what I like to call him, defending his title against Dark State's Dion Lennox. Plus WWE Women's NXT North American Champion Tatum Paxley will defend her title against the Glamour Blake Monroe in a casket match. Also, we're going to see the finals and for the vacated WWE Men's Speed Championship. EK Prosper is going to be going one-on-one with the Birthright Selected King. Obviously, the write-off match, we're going to see Keanu Carver versus Joe Henry. And then in the main event, which was phenomenal, great match, great send-off for Sol. Hopefully she's okay from that fall. Sol Ruka going one-on-one versus Zarya in a last woman standing match. So, the show opens up with a video package recapping last week's WWE NXT Revenge Week number 1. Big Joseph and WWE Hall of Famer Booker T then welcome us as we get the music of the men's NXT North American Champion Miles Bourne. He makes his way down to the ring for the first match of the night. Well, he will be defending against Dark State's Dion Lennox, who has the whole crew out there. All of them are out there. So that's 4 against 1. So, and Miles Bourne definitely had to earn this one tonight because there was a lot of distraction interference. Obviously, Saquon Sugar ended up costing Dion Lennox inadvertently. But so the match starts off with Dion Lennox hitting a spine buster on Miles Bourne. Bourne then kicks out. Dion Lennox then drives the shoulder into the midsection of Miles Bourne. Dion Lennox then hits an Irish whip, but Bourne counters with a drop kick. Lennox then hits Bourne with a Northern Light suplex and goes for the pinfall, but only for a count of 2. Miles Bourne then hits a snap suplex. Dion Lennox then hits a series of rights. Bourne then hits a power slam and goes for the pin, but only gets a count of 2. Miles Bourne then flies through the air, completely wiping out Dark State. Lennox then hits Bourne with a clothesline following a distraction from Dark State. White then spills to the outside. Lennox then sends Bourne into the hardest part of the barricade outside. Back in the ring, Dion Lennox continued to beat down onto Miles Bourne. He then hits a backbreaker. Dion Lennox then hits another backbreaker for a near fall. Miles Bourne then gets a quick roll up. He then tries to fight back, but Dion Lennox targets his lower back. He then sends Bourne to the outside. Dark State then attacks Bourne, and the referee doesn't see it. Dion then slams Miles Bourne face first into the hardest part of the ring. Miles Bourne then counters Dion Lennox's submission. He then tries to fight back again. Bourne then hits a series of clotheslines. Dion Lennox then sends Bourne over the top rope. Deion Lennox accidentally hits himself into the steel post. Deion Lennox drops Miles Bourne over the steel steps. Back in the ring, Deion Lennox begins to pound away at Miles Bourne. Both men exchange blows in the center of the ring. Deion Lennox hits Bourne with a sit-down powerbomb for a count of 2. Deion Lennox runs into a boot. Miles Bourne then hits Lennox with a DDT. He then hits a series of clotheslines and follows it up with a backbreaker. Miles Bourne then hits another backbreaker for a count of 2. Both men are now battling out on the top rope. Deion Lennox hits a superplex and both men are now down. Both men exchange shots in the middle of the ring. Miles Bourne then hits an uppercut. Deion Lennox fires back with a body shot and both men are down following a heavy collision. God, my phone's already messing up. One second, guys. Sorry. I apologize. I don't know why my phone does that. Okay. So, alright. So both men are now battling out on top rope. I'm sorry. Oh, there it is. Dark Satan tries to interfere again, but it backfires. Miles Bourne then sends Deion Lennox and Saquon Sugar is hanging through the middle rope, and Deion Lennox ends up running into Saquon Sugars, and then Miles Bourne follows it up with Bourne again for the 1, 2, 3, and still your WWE Men's NXT North American Champion Miles Bourne. So we then head to the back where Blake Monroe is with the Vanity Project. Blake Monroe vows to lay Tatum Paxley to rest tonight, where she will be facing Tatum Paxley for the Women's NXT North American Championship again in a casket match. She then tells the Vanity Project that they have given her everything and they can leave now. The Vanity Project on their phone and saying that they had a date tonight. So Blake Monroe had no help tonight at ringside. They then say they are across the street if she needs them. So that we then see Joe Henry and Kiana Carver in the backstage area. We also see Saquon Sugar from Dark State stop Robert Stone in the back, and Saquon asks for another chance. So next week, 1-on-1 for the Men's North American Championship. Osborne seeming to having to go through all of Dark State. He will be going 1-on-1 with Saquon Sugar, which I talked about on Scoops a couple weeks ago, that we would be seeing Deion Lennox and Saquon Sugar going through all of that turmoil, and both of them ended up in singles matches. Oh my god, my phone is being so stupid right now. Sorry about that, guys. Apologize. Been on so much, like ridiculous. And obviously, in the NBA playoffs is on tonight. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of sports. The hockey's in playoffs. Portland did defeat the San Antonio Spurs to even the series at a game apiece. So yeah, that's interesting. And Wemby got hurt, so Spurs may be in trouble. We'll see though. Never know. Never know what might happen. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to go on here. Alright. 1 second, guys. Trying to get back to my notes. I do apologize. What happened? Okay. So we see Saquon Sugar, the top Robert Stone in the back. Saquon asks for another chance. And then we see the pairing, which we've been seeing quite a bit backstage for NXT. Shiloh Hill and Tatum Paxley are sitting. Tatum talks about Shiloh being in the congratulating Shiloh and being in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that took place this past Friday right before WrestleMania. Shiloh mentions the casket and that he has built and has dug the hole. Tatum then says she hopes the Vanity Project doesn't get involved. Shiloh says he took care of that. So obviously Bailey Humphries was out there. I'm sure that was all set up by Shiloh. Shiloh then mentions he has a match next week, 1-on-1 versus Ricky Saint. So next week it will be Shiloh Hill on 1-on-1 with Ricky Saint. Shiloh Hill's getting a big push in NXT. So we then get the next entrance of the night, singles match, which is apparently Joe Henry will be Joe Henry's last match on NXT. He will be going 1-on-1 with the Beast, Keanu Carver. The match starts off with Joe Henry hitting a series of chops. Keanu Carver then runs into a big boot. Joe Henry then hits a chop block, follows it up with a knockout blow for a count of 2. Keanu Carver then drops his shoulder into the midsection of Henry. Keanu Carver then hits an Irish whip. Joe Henry is favoring his lower back. Keanu Carver then holds Joe Henry up, but Joe Henry fights out of it. Joe Henry then sends Carver over the top rope. Fight then spills to the outside. Keanu Carver then sends Henry into the barricade. Keanu Carver then sends Henry into the steel steps outside. Back in the ring, Joe Henry goes for a roll-up, but Keanu Carver kicks out at the count of 2. Carver then hits a series of forearms, and Henry hits a neck breaker. Joe Henry then hits Carver with the DDT for a near fall. Keanu Carver then drops his shoulder into the midsection of Joe Henry. Keanu Carver then applies a side headlock. The NXT Universe then tries to rally on Joe Henry. Joe Henry then tries to fight back, but Keanu Carver hits Joe Henry with a German suplex. Keanu Carver then hoists Henry up, hits him with a backbreaker for another near fall. Keanu Carver then hits another backbreaker to Joe Henry. He then tries to put he applies an abdominal stretch to Joe Henry, and then Keanu Carver ends up sending himself into the steel post. Joe Henry then begins to take the fight to Keanu Carver, and he hits a clothesline. Joe Henry then hits a follow-away slam, but Keanu Carver, quick to fire back, delivers a lariat, and he follows it up with a big spine buster. Keanu Carver then hits a couple of forearms, and the referee, and he is relentless on top of Joe Henry, with Joe Henry basically decapacitated. And the referee calls for the bell as the match has been stopped. Keanu Carver has completely destroyed Joe Henry, which is basically a write-off to send him to the main roster. The winner of the singles match due to referee stoppage is Keanu Carver. After the match, Keanu Carver hits more forearms to Joe Henry. We then take a look at the new member of the roster, and she says she was too loud and too unapologetic. She says her name is Lizzie Rain, and she is about heavy metal. the stage is set for her debut next week on NXT. A lot of people are looking forward to that. We kind of spoke about that a few weeks ago. But her name is going to be, she's going to go by Lizzie Rain in NXT. So Birthright then make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night, followed by EK Prosper. And this will be the championship of the WWE Men's Speed Championship match. EK Prosper goes one-on-one with Birthright's Lexis King. The match starts off with Lexis King slapping the back of EK Prosper's head. Prosper then hits a series of chops. Prosper then hits a standing drop kick to Lexis King. He then hits another big kick in the corner and follows it up with a flying leg drop for a count of 2. Lexis King then rolls out of the ring. All the members of Birthright are out there, including your TNA Women's Knockouts Champion Ariana Grace. But Birthright causes a distraction, allowing King to hit Eli Prosper with a kick. He then follows it up with a running bullet train attack for a count of 2. Both men then exchange shots in the center of the ring. EK Prosper then misses a splash. Lexis King then hits a backbreaker to EK Prosper for a count of 2. Lexis King then goes for his finisher move, the Coronation, but EK Prosper counters with a kick. He then heads to the top rope, but Lexis King drops him on the apron. Both men are now battling on the apron, and the time is starting to tick away. This is time limit. Quick match. So EK Prosper then sends King on the outside and delivers a monster moonsault off the top rope, wiping out Birthright. Ariana Grace steps up and slaps EK Prosper. Then EK Prosper delivers a super kick to Shannon Stacks Lorenzo, but Alexis King ends up capitalizing, kicking him, throwing him back in the ring. Alexis King hits EK Prosper with the Coronation for the 1, 2, 3. And your winner and your new WWE Men's NXT Speed Champion, Lexis King. So the 2 titles now that is a part of Birthright. So we then see Ricky Smokes and Brad Baylor watching Jackson Drake's date. Drake says that she didn't show up. Drake then says it was time for them to go. And then obviously Bailey Humphries walks up, which she is in LFG Season 3, which she was in Season 1 and Season 2 as well, and asks if Drake got stood up. Obviously they seen walking off together in the bar. So we then see Saquon Sugars, and he says he got their rematch. Deion Lennox then says he owes him one, and he will beat Miles Bourne in the rematch. Saquon then says it isn't Deion. He then says if anyone was going to get a chance, it had to be him. Deion then says he is happy that Saquon is getting the chance. So Deion is happy for Saquon Sugars getting the chance at the North American Championship next week against Miles Bourne, which I fully expect Deion Lennox to end up costing Saquon. It's 11-11. Make sure you make a wish. So then the Glamour herself, Blake Monroe. I don't know what's next for her. A lot of people are speculating main roster. I don't think it's really time for that. She hasn't even won the main title, but you never know. Makes her way down to the ring for the next match of the night, where she will be going one-on-one with the WWE Women's NXT North American Champion, Tatum Paxley, in a casket match. So the match starts off with both women exchanging shots in the center of the ring. Tatum Paxley then tries to send Blake Monroe into the casket, but Blake Monroe escapes. Tatum Paxley then slides through the rope, taking out Blake Monroe. Blake Monroe then runs into a knee. Fight then spills to the outside. Tatum Paxley then attacks Blake Monroe with flowers. Tatum Paxley then hits a forearm to Blake Monroe, and she is in full control now. Tatum Paxley then pulls out her dollhouse, but Blake Monroe goes right to the eyes She follows it up with a drop kick. Paxley then goes to her dollhouse. Casket is still open as Blake Monroe can continue to beat down on Tatum Paxley. Blake Monroe then has fire extinguisher and she sends Tatum Paxley into the casket. Paxley escapes and both women exchange a double headbutt. Blake Monroe then hits a sling belly to Tatum Paxley. Blake Monroe then slams Paxley face first on top of the casket. Blake Monroe then hits a snap suplex. Monroe then sent Paxley on the apron, and Paxley was so close to teetering into the casket. Tatum Paxley fights back, and she delivers a German suplex. Tatum Paxley then hits an overhead kick. Blake Monroe then blasts Paxley with a weapon. Paxley and Monroe then both go into the casket, but the match isn't over yet. Blake Monroe then goes for a glamour shot DDT on top of the casket, but Tatum Paxley countered with a Spanish fly, and both women are down and out. Blake Monroe then uses the fire extinguishers again. The distraction allows her to hit Tatum Paxley with the glamour shot DDT on the mat. She then puts Tatum Paxley into the casket, and then goes to shut the top of the lid, but it was the NXT North American title that was wedged in between to where the casket would not shut. Tatum Paxley then arises from the casket. Blake Monroe then steals the WWE NXT Women's North American Championship and just absolutely nails Tatum Paxley with the title belt. So the devil inside Blake Monroe is starting to come out, and Blake Monroe goes for a glamour shot DDT, but Tatum Paxley countered with a cemetery drive on the diamond. So Blake could put the diamonds out there, and it ended up costing her. Tatum Paxley countered with a cemetery drive on top of the diamond. Blake Monroe is now in the casket, and Tatum Paxley shuts the lid for the win and the second time Tatum Paxley has defeated Blake, which Blake did get a pinfall over Paxley in a mixed tag. But this is Tatum Paxley's second successful, or maybe third successful, Women's NXT North American Championship title defense. She retains in a brutal casket match against Blake Monroe. So then we see Jackson Drake on his date, and he is freaked out by his date's job as a mortician, which is what I was talking about, Bailey Humphries. Drake is then told that he got set up, and the girl in the photo is not a girl. That is AI. They then realized that it was Shiloh Hill. She invited Brad Baylor and Ricky Saint to join them. So then we see your WWE Women's NXT Champion Lola Vice walking in the hallway. That being said, we get the entrance of the WWE NXT Women's Champion Lola Vice as she makes her way down to the ring. Lola Vice starts off by greeting the NXT Universe. Lola Vice says she didn't just beat Jacy Jayne last week, she made a statement. Lola Vice says she showed the type of champion she is going to be, and Jacy elevated this division and reinvented herself. So kind of a shout out to Jacy, as Jacy Jayne will be. I'm fully expecting SmackDown now since she wasn't on Raw. Lola Vice says the hardest part about being a champion is not winning, but keeping the women's championship. Lola Vice says the NXT women's division is deep and hungry. Lola Vice says she has a target on her back. Lola Vice says holding the WWE NXT Women's Champion could earn her a spot at WrestleMania in the future. Lola Vice says nobody walks into Vice City and takes what's hers. Then out comes Izzy Dame with the call-in. Izzy Dame makes her way to the ring. She gets a microphone. Izzy Dame says it's true that she is a threat to Lola Vice's WWE NXT Women's Championship. Izzy Dame then calls Lola Vice emotional. Izzy Dame then says Lola Vice will make a mistake. Izzy Dame says Lola Weiss will lose her WWE NXT Women's Championship. Izzy Dame says she will rip Weiss apart. Izzy Dame says she knows Weiss's weakness. Izzy Dame says Weiss will thank her when she becomes the next WWE NXT Women's Champion. Lola Weiss says she hopes Dame takes her shot, but she will get her ass kicked. Nico Vance then distracts Lola Weiss, allowing Izzy Dame to hit Lola Weiss with a big boot. Izzy Dame then rips the NXT Women's Championship off of Lola Weiss and stands tall over Lola Weiss with the NXT Women's Championship. So Izzy Dame made a statement. So then we go to the back and we see Sarah Shriver with Lexis King, and she congratulates on him on winning and brings up the circumstances. Lexis King says NXT finally has a champion born to do this. Lexis King then says he is a real star, says that they are not going to stop until they have all the gold around their waist in the birthright. But then EK Prosper walks up and says they have to run it back because Lexis King cheated. And then Dorian Bandu walks up and says he will team with EK Prosper against any of the two that Birthright want to throw out against them. Ariana Grace, the TNA Women's Knockouts Champion, then accepts the challenge. And I guess EK Prosper and Dorian Bandu will be taking on two members of Birthright next week on NXT. But Lexis King said he is going off for the coronation and the celebration for his NXT Speed Championship win tonight. So then we take another look at Kendall Gray, like they did last week. Really hyping up Kendall Gray. She's going to be a major star, NXT Women's Champion in the future for time to come. Kendall said before she came to the PC, she was a 3-time undefeated national champion. Kendall then said amateur wrestling was her life. Kendall then said she loved growing up in Vegas. Kendall then talked about competing against the guys. Kendall then says it was natural. Kendall then mentions her older brother. Kendall then says she is a tomboy and she is fine with that. Kendall then says her mom was like that too. Kendall then says she bonded with her dad over sports. Kendall then mentions how she got hit by a foul ball one time. Kendall then says she would always get hurt growing up. Kendall then says she was obsessed with the physical part of wrestling. Kendall says she was obsessed with getting her hand raised. Kendall then says she wanted to make sure you knew more about her. Kendall then says she won't stop until she gets her hands on that women's NXT championship. Another good promo vignette segment about Kendall Gray, who is also in LFG Season 3, starting Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on A&E with Episode 1. So we then see Lola Weiss with Robert Stone, and she says she knows who can help her with the calling. Not sure exactly who that is. We then see Ricky Saints attacking Shallow Hill in the back. Vicious attack by Ricky Saints on Shallow Hill, which they will be going one-on-one next week. It is announced that next week Ricky Saints faces Shallow Hill, and Miles Bond will defend the NXT North American Championship against Saquon Sugar, and obviously EK Prosper and Dorian Bandu against two members of Birthright. We then see Robert Stone stopped by Sarah Shriver, and she asked about an update on Shallow Hill. Stone says he will have a better idea. He will find out later on the details of the health of Shallow Hill. Also, Robert Stone says he will have a better idea. He tells Tony D back in the back that he will have a better idea of Tony D's next opponent. He then asked if Kiana Carver did that to Tony. So Tony D'Angelo received a box from Japan. Could it be evil? He then asked if Kiana Carver did that. Kiana then says he would have taken his chance. He then says the symbol is for war, There are sharks all over the place. Ken Carter giving a little bit of advice to the men's NXT champion Tony D'Angelo. So then we're going to the main event of the night and Sol Ruka's last match on the NXT roster, as you saw her go one-on-one with the new WWE Raw Women's Champion last night, Liv Morgan. So Ruka makes her way down to the ring for the main event of the night, as she will be going one-on-one with Zarya in a last woman standing match. The match starts off with Zarya standing behind Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka then hits a series of forearms to Zarya. Sol Ruka then sends Zarya over the top rope. Sol Ruka then hits a springboard clothesline to Zarya on the outside. Sol Ruka then runs into a big boot. Zarya then sends a trash can right into the face of Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka then pulls out a kendo stick and tries to use it. Zarya blocks it. Zarya then tries to use the trash can, but Sol Ruka countered with a basement dropkick. Zarya then attacks Sol Ruka with cable wire. Sol Ruka then clocks Zarya with a trash can lid. Back in the ring, Sol Ruka drops Zarya on her face. Sol Ruka then punishes Zarya with a kendo stick, and she has snapped. Zarya then goes face first into the mat. Sol Ruka then goes for a powerbomb. Zarya fights out of it. Zarya then hits a pump kick to Sol Ruka, and both women are now down. The referee is now counting. Zarya then goes for an F5, but Sol Ruka takes Zarya out with her own move, which is a spear. Both women are now back on their feet. Sol Ruka then clears the announce desk, but Zarya sends her over the barricade. Zarya and Sol Ruka then take the fight into the NXT universe. Sol Ruka is now up on the barricade. Zarya gets up on the barricade as well. Both women are now fighting back and forth. Zarya then hits a headbutt. Zarya then goes for an F5, and she sends Sol Ruka through the table. Sol Ruka is back on her feet and hits a German suplex to Zarya. She follows it up with a knee right into the heart of Zarya. Sol Ruka then pulls out a table. Zarya then attacks Sol Ruka from behind and sends her into the post. Sol Ruka then targets Zarya's spine. Zarya is now placed on a pile of tables. Sol Ruka is now climbing all the way up, and Zarya is nowhere to be seen. Zarya is now standing right behind Sol Ruka. Sol Ruka then hits a Soul Snatcher, and both women are down. So then Sol Ruka and Zarya begin slugging it out. But the main thing is they're up there on the very top before the ending happened. They hugged and all of that. Just kind of, I don't know, kind of a way. What's going on, Bobby? Good to see you. Just kind of wrapping up here on the main event tonight. But they were kind of both on the top. They hugged. Obviously, like I said before, this is Sol Ruka's last match on NXT. So she was 100% putting Zarya over. She wrestled with Morgan last night. Phenomenal match, by the way. But they slug it out up top after that. And then Zarya pushes Sol Ruka through a pile of tables. And Sol Ruka can't beat the 10 count. Appreciate that, Bobby. Anyone, yeah, appreciate that. Anyone that is watching live on YouTube, if you go back and watch live on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. So thank you, Bobby, for that. Zarya is the last woman standing. After the match, Zarya celebrates, stands tall. She gets the last laugh as the show comes to a close. So that wraps up NXT. We have a short stream tonight, guys. That wraps up NXT Revenge Week 2. But next week, like I said, on a regular episode of NXT, we're going to see Miles Bourne defend the NXT North American Championship against Saquon Sugars. Who is the next contender for Tatum Paxley? At this point, I have no idea. I stopped talking to my guy tomorrow. If you're here for Sunday Scoop Sunday, Hopefully I can have an answer for you in regards to that. So at this point, I have no idea because she just got done with Blake. So hope to have a better idea for you guys on Sunday. Like I said, Sunday Scoop, I will extend it to at least 2.5 hours on Sunday due to the fact that I wasn't able to stream this past Sunday due to WrestleMania. But on top of the men's North American Championship being defended, with Miles Bourne defending against Cyclone Sugars, we're going to have Ricky Saints going one-on-one with Shallow Hill. Then we're going to have Dorian Van Doo and EK Prosper against two members of Birthright next week live on NXT. So that is it, guys. Short stream tonight. I wanted to try to make it pretty short. This is my 9th day in a row streaming. I have been streaming ever since last Sunday and have the busy, crazy week of WrestleMania. So tomorrow is my first off day. So it's 100% going to be a heel. I just don't know which one it's going to be for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and go to the outro, guys. And then I will be back to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials, what I have coming up for you guys the rest of this week. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go, Show Recap Prediction Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recap Prediction Sports. Let go.
All right. So that is your coverage for Tuesday, April 21st, 2026 of your NXT Revenge Week 2 NXT Recap Show. I appreciate that, Bobby. Good to see you. Hope to see you Sunday for Sunday Night Scoops at 6 p.m. Eastern. And I'm also going to have a new show Sunday night as well, which will be LFG Season 3, Episode 1. So there will be 2 shows airing live here on the EVP show come Sunday night. So, yeah. So, not a whole lot of people in here. There's a bunch of streams going on right now. So, and there's basketball and everything like that. So, as far as where you can find me on my socials, it is streaming, not streaming, but it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen in the blue. Everything, if you guys are looking for my YouTube page, all my YouTube link is pinned to every one of my YouTube, all of my social media platforms. So if you're following me on any of those platforms, you'll definitely be able to find my YouTube link. If you have friends and family that you think that they may enjoy wrestling content, recaps, predictions, stuff like that, send them a link. Like I said, I did hit my goal of 300 subscribers before 200 subscribers before WrestleMania. I'm sitting at 218, which I'm very thankful for that. Thank you guys again for that. Ultimate goal now is to get to 300 before WrestleMania. So as far as where you can find me on my socials, like I said, if you follow me, I'll follow you back. You will be able to see everything. Even on Facebook, my YouTube link is pinned there as well. But on X, if you're looking for me on X, you can find me at EVPCJP. And if you're following me on X, obviously you'll be able to see at the very top of my page is my YouTube page. So if you ever, or link in my little description up there at the top, very first post pinned at the top. So if you guys ever get a chance, make sure if you can go in there, hit that like button on there, share it, try to help me get to 300 subscribers for SummerSlam. So if you're looking for me on Instagram, my Instagram account now is a business account. So the YouTube link is an italic blue print now. But if you're looking for me on Instagram, you can find me at EVPCJP. And for TikTok, You can find me at Brady the Goat 21. Once again, that's at Brady BRADYDA Goat 21. Not THE, because a lot of people messing like, oh, we can't find you on TikTok. At Brady BRADYDA Goat 21. Last but not least, like I said before, if you guys are able to go back and watch the stream later on, if you want to leave comments, everything like that, I do check my YouTube consistently every day for comments on the stream. If you are able to go back and watch the stream live, just please make sure you hit that like button. If you leave any comments, I definitely will see them, and I definitely will go back in there and answer the comments. So yeah, I definitely would appreciate that. But most importantly, last but not least, like I said before, my goal is to get to 300 subscribers before SummerSlam. So please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're already subscribed, please hit that notification bell. You will be reminded every time that I go live. And then you can come in and join me for my show. All the recap shows, prediction shows, everything that I have coming up on this channel. But if you are not subscribed to the EVP show and you are looking for it in the search bar, you just go up to the top, type in at the EVP show. You'll see a ton of live videos, a ton of shorts, and one pre-recorded video. You just go, like I said, go up to the top, hit in the search bar, and hit at the EVP show. Once again, thank you to everybody come in. Very limited amount of viewers tonight for NXT, which kind of surprised because NXT is kind of the hottest, one of the hottest things going right now. But shout out to Bobby for coming in as always. Sure, I will see you Sunday for Sunday Night Scoops and probably LFG because I know you're a big, huge LFG fan as well. So what I have coming up for the rest of the week, guys, is tomorrow. Nothing. I have nothing coming up. It is my first day off in 10 days, so I will not be streaming tomorrow. I will be resting up and getting ready for the rest of the week. But you can join me Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for your TNA recap show. And then Friday night, come back, same time, same place, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the first SmackDown after WrestleMania. Will we see any main roster call-ups or any big surprises? And will we see CM Punk getting moved to SmackDown? Because they're really teasing a CM Punk Cody Rhodes feud down the road. But tune in Friday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for your SmackDown recap. And then Saturday, once again, I am off. Come back Sunday for Doubleheader Sunday here on the EVP show. Starting off first, I did not get to do it this past Sunday because it was night 2 of WrestleMania. But join me as it comes back. Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP episode number 18, at 6 p.m. Eastern, live Sunday here on the EVP show. We'll give all the news that I have updated for the first 30-45 minutes, and I will leave the Q&A up, but I will not let the stream go past 2.5 hours. So make sure you come in with your questions. Make sure that you have all your questions handy, because once I see you around that 2.5 hour mark or the questions stop, I will end the stream. Later on that night, the second part of the doubleheader is the season premiere and season debut here on the EVP show of LFG Season 3. So at 11, it will air live on A&E at 10 p.m. Eastern if you guys are going to watch it live on TV. I will be covering LFG Season 3, Episode 1, Sunday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, Episode 1, here on the EVP show. So that's what I have coming up for you guys the rest of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed NXT Revenge Week 1 last week and Week 2 this week. That is it for me, guys. I will definitely be enjoying my off day tomorrow. I hope you guys have a happy Wednesday. This weather up north is freaking bipolar. 85, 90 degrees last week, and now we're getting the 30s and 40s at nighttime. So, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoy your Wednesday, and I will see you guys back here Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for your TNA recap show. That being said, Cody Rhodes, saw you put Golden Boy in your profile, but I'm still the first Golden Boy, so you have to share it, or you stole the name from me. But I am the EVP from the EVP show and the golden boy of DWE. DWE is the place to be. Everyone enjoy your Wednesday. I sure will. And I'll see you guys Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time for your TNA recap show. Good night, everyone.